자, 요즘 최근에 배에 관련된 게 되게 많이 넘어갔습니다. 전함도 나오고 영상도 나왔습니다. 자, HMS 워스파이트, 좌우명을 따르는 삶. 자, 20세기 초에는 전함의 항공기를 할 수 있습니다. 그 중에서도 영국은 거대한 드레드노트급 전함을 통해서 해전의 한 시대를 풍미했습니다.
The early 20th century was the heyday of the battleship class. Great Britain became the trendsetter with its giant dreadnoughts, symbols of unquestionable military power and true tide-turners in naval combat. The Queen Elizabeth class was developed and built on the eve of the First World War, and it had to be completed in a very short time.
요즘 보면
Britain's main
항모의
opponent
시대도
in the
저물어
imminent
가는 것
war,
같아요.
the
그죠?
Imperial German Navy, was
무슨 시대를
much to
해도
worry about. Its Kaiser class of
필요
dreadnoughts
없진 않은데
posed a formidable
운영을 잘해야
threat
돼.
with thick armor and powerful armament. The British wanted to make sure they had
지상전에
something to
탱크가 비슷한 것
counteract
같아.
it with.
탱크 사라질 수는
So
없죠.
they decided to build
근데 세심한
battleships
운영이
that would
필요합니다.
surpass all existing and even future German ships in armor, firepower, and, most importantly, speed. The plan was taken seriously.
전함은 빠를
The
수
main
없지 않나?
caliber of the Queen
스피드.
Elizabeth was an impressive 381 millimeters.
380.
The British engineers were short on time and used the tried and true Vickers Mark V 343mm cannon as the base. While past experience was a good guideline, they had to upscale the design to meet the new goals. The pacing was so fast that most of the usual trials had to be skipped. Still, the cannon turned out to be reliable and robust, at least for its caliber. It had a range exceeding 20 kilometers and excellent ballistics.
야마토 구경이
In
엄청
addition to
크거든요.
high
근데
firepower,
화력은
the
그
Queen Elizabeth
구경만큼 그렇게
was to
늘어나진
boast
않았다.
high speed, which was a weak side of the Iron Duke dreadnoughts. It became the first battleship in history to be equipped with engines running on oil,
아이언드크 어디서
a
많이
fuel
들어봤는데
with much higher energy
소개시킨 영상이
density
있는
than
것 같아요.
coal. The first upgraded dreadnought was laid down in
최초의 개량형
1912,
드레노트는
and by October
1912년이다.
1913, it was complete. The HMS Warspite was the second of the class, and its launch was overseen by Winston Churchill himself, then First Lord of the Admiralty. The battleship was quickly prepared for war. It was basically a giant bet worth no less than £2.5 million. But the bet soon proved to be a winning one. The HMS Warspite saw its first combat in the summer of 1916 during the Battle of Jutland, which was the largest naval battle of the Great War.
대전에서 실전했네요.
During the battle, the ship's steering became jammed. It left the formation and spent around half an hour circling under heavy enemy fire. All it could do was fire back and soak up incoming shells. And it worked! The HMS Warspite survived more than a dozen hits and even inadvertently saved the HMS Warrior, shielding the smaller ally from a large caliber hit
적군 앞에서
and
뺑뺑 돌았다 이
inspiring
말인
its
거죠.
comrades.
좋다.
The
그러니까
Warspite spent a
조종관이
long time in
나가가지고
repairs after that, but eventually returned to patrol duty. During the interwar period, the battleship received a few upgrades,
전강기는 1차
including
대전이랑
more
2차 대전
reliable
사이죠.
armor. But World War II arrived fast and gave the battleship new missions
중간에
to
좀
complete.
개조를 했나 봐요.
Its further path was just as tumultuous. In the early stages of the war, it supported ground forces during the Battle of Narvik, fought the Italian fleet, and even set a
이탈리아
historical
함대하고
record
싸우고
for the
지상군
farthest hit
지원자고.
from a moving ship. It landed a
가장
shell of
먼
the
거리에
Giulio
명중시킨
Cesare,
기록도 있다.
moving 24 kilometers away.
24km
Later years
무빙샷.
left a few more scars on the
이열.
Warspite's hull. One Fritz X, an early guided bomb,
저거
cost
관측
the ship a
장비나
quarter of
그
its
탄도
firepower,
계산이라고 있나?
but
그것도
it
되게
failed to render
이제
it
과학적으로
inoperable.
바뀌었다 그러더라고요.
In 1944, the HMS Warspite bombarded the defensive positions during the Normandy landings and hit a mine. Still, it wasn't enough to sink this battleship. It was restored one more time and reported for duty
비례에
in Northern
맞았나
Europe.
본데.
And only a few months later,
전함은 잘
it was
그러니까
finally allowed to
침몰 안
retire.
나가는 것 같아 진짜.
Each British ship traditionally received both a name and a motto. The HMS Warspite's motto was Belli Dura Despicio, which is Latin for I despise the hardships of
전쟁의
war.
고난을 싫어한다.
Back at the beginning of its service life, no one could expect this battleship
그래도
to
얘는
truly live up to its
실전
motto
경험이
and
좀
become one of the
많네요,
most
그죠?
decorated ships of its time. After World War II, it was sent away for scrapping.
가장
But
많은 훈장을
fortune
받은
had
함정이다.
one last mishap for it in store. The HMS Warspite encountered a severe storm and went aground on the coast of Cornwall, where it remained until the
폭풍에 자초되고
mid-1950s when it
50년대
was finally
중반까지 머물렀다.
salvaged.
가 인양됐다.